Hi guys, welcome to your third science online class. So today I want to go over photosynthesis and dive into this very important idea in science called conservation of energy and the conservation of matter. So you'll see this in biology, you'll see it in chemistry, you'll see it in physics. It's one of these things that we call a cross-cutting concept. It goes across all science ideas. So I want to make sure that we understand that. And photosynthesis is a really good example of this. So let me go and talk about what I mean by this. So conservation of energy is when energy cannot be created or destroyed. We talked about this in class before when we talked about energy and the energy pyramid of an ecosystem. But energy can't be created and it can't be destroyed. It can only be converted from one type to another. So you might see in this picture here that the chemical energy in food gets turned into kinetic energy for a human. Or, for photosynthesis, light energy is converted into chemical energy for a plant. So that is the conservation of energy. It gets turned from one type to another, but it's not created and it's not destroyed. There's many other examples for the conservation of energy. Kind of like when a car is driving, the gas is used to make the car move. You're changing the gas, the energy in the gas, to energy of movement. So when I talked about the cross-cutting concepts, you might have seen a picture of this up on my wall in class. These were the 7 cross-cutting concepts. And I'm going to zoom in on this one here. This is the energy and matter cross-cutting concept. So to zoom in on that one, it says tracking how energy and matter flows into, out of, and within systems helps one understand a system's behavior. So it's like this flow of energy and matter. And it says the transfer of energy drives the cycling of matter. And again, I think photosynthesis is a really good example of that. You have energy transferred from light to the plant, and that causes changes in matter. You get some molecules to change from one type to another. To be more specific, we have these molecules here. When you add light energy, they change into other molecules. So it's like the cycling of matter. Matter changes because light is driving this chemical change. So just to go over what this says, again, matter cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be converted from one type to another. So both energy and matter have this rule where it cannot be created or destroyed. And what you're looking at here is a chemical equation. So if you ever take a chemistry class, you'll see a lot of these. And it's just a way for chemists to keep track of all the molecules in the reaction. And just like a math equation, the left side has to be equal to the right side. So when you look at the arrow, whatever's on the left side of the arrow has to be equal to what's on the right side of the arrow. Or in other words, it has to be balanced. So in photosynthesis, the matter that makes up carbon dioxide and water gets rearranged to make sugar and oxygen. And then the last thing I'll say about this, and this was actually a question I got from some of you on the assignment that I did last week. What do all these letters and numbers mean? So I kind of want to do a quick drawing and kind of show you what does it mean for matter to be conserved. So I'm going to try to draw this. So I'm going to try to draw the molecules, and some of these you might know what they look like, probably others that you don't. But the most important thing here is I'm going to show you that whatever matter I have that makes up carbon dioxide and water can be rearranged to make sugar and oxygen. All right, so first I'm going to make water, and you guys might know what this looks like. You might have seen like a water molecule. Let's see, or at least like a picture of it. So I'm going to try to, all right, that's my water molecule. That's the oxygen. And now I need to add, let's do this. Do a copy and paste. We'll make a couple of these guys here. So Okay, that is your typical water molecule. You have oxygen in the middle, and then you have two hydrogens on the side. So when we say H2O, we have two hydrogens and one oxygen. And this is your picture of what water would look like. So H2O, this is what H2O is. This 6 in the front tells me that I'm going to have 6 of these molecules. So I'm going to quickly make 6 of these. Okay, so those are my 6 water molecules. Now I need to make 6 carbon dioxide molecules. So let's make one of those. All right, so that is a carbon dioxide molecule. You have 1 carbon and 2 oxygens. So when we talk about carbon dioxide, this is kind of like what the molecule would look like if we try to think about what molecules would look like. Now this 6 in the front, again, that means I have 6 of them. So I'm going to make 6 of these molecules. Okay, so now I have all the molecules I need to make these things over here. So I'm going to draw an arrow, and the arrow shows me that all this stuff on the left is going to change to make the stuff on the right. All right, so I have my arrow, and now I'm going to rearrange these molecules to make a sugar molecule and then 6 oxygen molecules. And one thing I want to point out is these lines here that I have, these are bonds. So these are chemical bonds. And again, if you take a chemistry class, you'll learn more about those. Now, those bonds are going to break, and the molecules can then be rearranged to make other molecules. So when I show you this, I'm going to get rid of all these bonds, and then I'm going to be left with the atoms. I'm going to be left with carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. And those are going to be rearranged to make something new. And what you'll see is I don't need to add any extra atoms. I don't need to take away any atoms. Whatever I have on the left side is going to end up on the right side. So I'm going to try to show you that quickly right now. All right, I think that's it. So you saw, I know that took a while, but the point I really want to make here, and the reason why I'm spending time on this is because I want you guys to understand this idea of conservation of matter. I took all the atoms on the left side and I moved them over to the right side. And I added lines. The lines are the chemical bonds. I shouldn't use air quotes. I mean, they are chemical bonds. But you can see that all of the atoms move from the one side to the other. I don't have anything extra. I don't have anything that's like lying around. Nothing was created. Nothing was destroyed. It just got changed from one type to another. Now, one thing you saw in the video was every now and then I would go over to this tab here. So if you ever look up a glucose molecule, which is the sugar that plants make, there's many models, but this is kind of what it looks like. And again, if you take a chemistry class, you might learn about chemical bonds and how they break and how they form and all the molecules that can get formed. I don't need you to memorize this at all. I don't need you to memorize what molecules look like. The key idea here is do you realize that the atoms weren't created or destroyed? They just got changed from one type to another. So this here is a sugar molecule. You have one of these at the end of photosynthesis. If you counted all of them, you would see that there are 6 C's or carbons. There would be 12 hydrogens, and then there would be 6 oxygens in this molecule right here. And then what I have over here are the 6 O2 molecules. So this is what the oxygen looks like that we breathe in, that's in the air. That is O2. So you have 2 oxygen molecules bound together. And that is what the conservation of energy and the conservation of matter means. Nothing is created and nothing is destroyed. All right, so after you watch my video, there's a couple things I want you to do. Your goal for today is to understand the conservation of matter and see that in some different ways. There's going to be an activity that you have to do related to photosynthesis, and then there's going to be a quiz. So make sure you maybe watch the videos from last week, watch this video, obviously, and then make sure you understand what's going on in the activity, and then I think you'll be ready for the quiz. When you go into your classwork today, you will have these 3 assignments. I put the homework back in there. It's really important that you guys do that. Again, that's your invasive species stuff and the photosynthesis reading. And then the interactivity is here. You can click on that tab, and then there'll be a link that takes you to a new website. And you want to find the link where you actually do the activity. So if you click on this, you can click on this link here, and it's going to take you to a new website. If you have any problems with that, feel free to email me or call me. But once you click on this link, it should take you to a new website, and there should be 8 pages where you can kind of go through some reading, you can rearrange some molecules, you can answer a few questions. So do that, and then you're going to take the quiz. All right, and that's about it. Again, any questions, please reach out.